According to Nationwide Insurance, 7 in 10 Americans age 65 and older will need long-term care. Now, the prospect of any type of health care brings with it a lot of questions. To help at least get the financial side straightened out for people, folks at Nationwide are hosting a free seminar to help the public get a few answers. Joining us this morning from Nationwide is former KPVI Sports Director Dave Reichelt, who now works for Nationwide. Thank you very much for stopping by this morning. First off, tell us a little bit about the seminar. What do you guys got going on today to help people out?
You know, a lot of people don't even know necessarily what long-term care means. Long-term care is basically when you get into a health situation where you can't do all the things that you normally would do in your life, whether that's being able to feed yourself, dress yourself, move around, those types of things. So so when that happens, there's usually a great expense that goes along with that, whether you need some kind of home health care or whether you need to go into some kind of nursing or a full-time facility. Those expenses get very, very big and very, very expensive. And the question is, are you prepared? Are you not prepared? And that's kind of the things that we're going to talk about tonight.
All right. So speaking of money, how much money does long-term care typically cost?
Well, it can go in a long variety of ranges, a wide variety of ranges, because it depends if you go to some kind of full-time nursing facility.
So it's not necessarily like planned for this exact amount.
No, that's the problem with it, is because that industry standard says today that $72,000 a year is the average cost of a full-time nursing facility. So, I mean, that's quite a lot of money.
Right.
We're talking $6,000 a month just for something along that line. But when you talked about that number, 70% of Americans 65 and older will require that's if you're 65 right now.
Okay.
7 in 10 chance of needing it. So it's 1 in 2 chance. So if we could play a game here and we could flip a coin. You could call it, and if you got heads and you were right, hey, maybe you wouldn't need it. But then you flip it again and if it's tails. Right. Maybe that's your spouse that needs it. So the preparation for that is what is really key.
What should people look for and what should people do to kind of get prepared for this thought of long-term care?
There's a couple different ways. There's basically 4 different ways to be ready for long-term care. One, fund it yourself. Just be putting it aside just like you would for any other type of retirement need, whether it's health care or your food or how to live, those types of things. The other way is to purchase a long-term care insurance policy that is specifically for long-term care. It's like buying a term insurance policy, just protecting against that one thing, not accruing any type of cash value. Then you can also purchase a life insurance policy that has a long-term care rider on top of that. And then finally, there's a not as widely known way as to, if you've already saved for long-term care, there's a way to make that money go farther for long-term care by moving it into a long-term care, a life insurance policy that has a rider, but it's a single premium one that dumps a fair amount of money right off the bat into it and gives you 3 or 4 times as far as coverage goes for long-term care. So there's a lot of different ways. The thing is, though, is to be prepared. Dave Ramsey, the radio host, he says by the age of 60, have a long-term care policy. You on your 60th birthday, at least by then, purchase a long-term care policy. Because if you don't, you're really putting yourself at great risk.
All right. Where can people go for more information? Who can they contact about tonight's seminar?
You can call my office, 232-DAVE, 232-3283 is the easy number. Show up at the Red Lion tonight at 7 o'clock. The Red Lion in Pocatello will have the seminar. It's about an hour. We'll have refreshments and some food and all that kind of good stuff. So we'll get you in and out of there and hopefully leave you with some good information.
All right, cool. Thank you very much for stopping by this morning.
All right.
All right, we will send